Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the Colorado Avalanche versus Philadelphia Flyers game. Some injury updates. We got Kiwi Ranta back in the lineup tonight. In net for Philadelphia is Arison, and in net for Colorado is Blackwood. 45 seconds in, and the Avs get their first power play chance of the game. Konechny would sit 2 minutes for hooking. The Avs look dangerous on that power play, but don't get any results. 5 minutes into the game, and the Avs have their second power play chance. This time, Cates will go off for interference. On this power play chance, the Avs failed to get set up in the zone until there was about 20 seconds left. Then they got a couple shots off. About halfway through the first period, the Avs bottom six creates a turnover. Burnley gets a chance from the slot, but he's robbed. With about 6.5 minutes left in the first period, Konechny would tip a pass through the crease. Dvorak would pick it up on the other side on a bad angle and have a wide open net. Thankfully, he would hit the post. A couple minutes after that, Malinsky blocks Tippett's shot off the ankle. The puck would bounce right back to Tippett. Malinsky was unable to recover. Blackwood was screened by Barkley, and Tippett's second shot would beat Blackwood. After that play, Malinsky would head down the tunnel. With about 2 minutes left in the period, McKinnon takes an interference penalty in the offensive zone. Philly controls play in the Avs zone for about 1 minute of that power play. The Avs finally get it cleared, but they can't get a full change as Makar is stuck out there. 15 seconds later, Makar's unable to get a stick on Barkley, and he scores. And that was an incredible post-and-in shot by Barkley. The Avs have been the more dominant team in the first period, even outshooting Philly 17-6, but they find themselves down by 2. Special teams have cost the Avs in the first period. They had 2 early power play chances that they couldn't bury on, and then Philly's one chance they would capitalize on. We start the second period, and Malinsky is back on the bench. 2 minutes into the second period, and Lehkonen gets sent to the box for high sticking. The Avs need to keep Philly off the board on this one. They can't afford to go down 3 this early. The Avs do escape that penalty without giving up a goal. A couple minutes later, Kelly would create a turnover. The puck would hop right to Jack Ashan. He would fire a shot on net. Kelly would collect the rebound, take it to his backhand, and beat Arison. After that Kelly goal, the Avs started stacking shift after shift after shift. A couple minutes later, McKinnon would enter the zone and sort through traffic. He finds Olofsson flying into the zone and drops it off to him. Nietzsche screens Arison, and Olofsson is able to wire one right by him. Just halfway through the game, and we're back to being tied. It doesn't last long because 30 seconds later, Jack Ashan would fall and give Philly a 3-on-1. The puck would skip by Cates. Cates then forces a turnover, and Brink buries it. That lead would only last Philadelphia 1 minute as the Avs run a face-off play and get a goal. Nietzsche tips it off to McKinnon. McKinnon finds Makar wide open, and Makar just puts it home. 3 minutes left in the second period. Nietzsche comes in on a 1-on-1, but he can't beat Arison. After a bad first period, the Avs responded strong to get this game tied. And that was a pretty low event second period as the shots were only 6-7. The third period starts and there's a lot of back and forth action. The third rush in 1 minute comes from a picked off pass from Manson. Tippett comes in with speed and beats Blackwood for his second goal of the night. The Avs continue to struggle to get the puck out of their own end. Eventually this leads to a point shot that gets deflected by Michkov, and now it's a 2-goal lead back to Philly. And we're just 2 minutes into the third period. The Avs try to play all offense to start the third period, and they really cost themselves on defense. Just a minute later, Konechny gets a chance to put his team up 3, but he rings it off the post. Another minute later, Bardakov would get tripped and fall into the boards. This leads to an Avs power play as Bardakov heads down the tunnel. This is one of those times where you need your power play to score to get you back in the game. The Avs couldn't capitalize. Not only that, they didn't even really generate any momentum in their direction, even with this game being on home ice. A couple minutes later, Philly would take another penalty to put the Avs back on the power play. Once again, you need a goal here to get yourself back in the game. This is your chance to redeem yourself after the last one. Unfortunately, the Flyers knew that this was the Avs' kryptonite, and they gave up a shorthanded goal. Tippett would get a breakaway and finish off the hat-trick 5-hole on Blackwood. With 8 minutes left in the third period, Bardakov returns to the bench. With 5 minutes left in the game, the Avs pull Blackwood for the extra attacker. After the Avs prevented 4 of 5 empty net attempts, Michkov finally buries it. This would finish the night 7-3 for Philadelphia. This was not a great showing for the Avs tonight, especially with the 2001 Cup champs sitting in attendance. Blackwood couldn't outduel Arison, and the Avs power play continues to have horrendous results all season. The missed opportunities really cost the Avs tonight. Even though the Avs didn't take very many penalties, the Flyers were able to capitalize on their first chance. That's another thing that I find frustrating about this Avs team, is it takes them 3 or 4 power plays until they finally get one. They need to be able to get it on the first or second chance in a game, especially when we get to the playoffs where there is only 1 or 2 chances a game. The next game needs to be a bounce back game for this team. That game is Sunday afternoon against the Leafs. And looking at tonight's results, it looks like the Leafs took a rough loss to the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm sure the Leafs will be looking to respond next game too. See you then.